Hey guys, welcome to my legal classes. This is Ganesh Pujari and we were discussing about essentials of valid contract. Out of the 5 essentials which was discussed under section 10 of the act, we are discussing the first element, that is competent to contract, under which we have already discussed two important aspects, that is minor and sound mind. The third and last video under competent to contract is person qualified by law, which is mainly discussed under section 11. Let us try understand what is all about person qualified by law from this video. By now, this diagram must be very familiar for you because we have already discussed this diagram at least 3 times in my previous sessions. This diagram discusses about the parties who are unable to enter into a contract. They can be a minor or a person of unsound mind or a person who is disqualified by law. We have already had a detailed discussion on minor and a person of unsound mind in 2 independent videos, and this video, which is named as video 2C, we are discussing person disqualified by law, where in the act it is discussed under section 11, which is discussing about who are competent to contract. It is mentioned that who is not disqualified from contracting by any law to which he is subject. That means a person to be qualified to come into any kind of valid contract should not be disqualified by any law. Who are the persons who are disqualified by law? They can be alien enemy or a foreign sovereign or a convict who is going through jail time or a corporation and company or a insolvent. Now we are going to understand in detail about all these 5 concepts who are disqualified by law in my next slide. The first element that we are discussing under person disqualified by law is alien enemies. Who are these aliens? They are not definitely coming out of earth. They are the people who are living in earth but not in India but in different other countries. Now, can we have contract with those people who are living outside India? Now, for that we need to understand the concept of alien enemies. Now, there are 2 types of aliens. One, an alien friend, the other one, an alien enemy. Alien friends are those people with whom our political relationship is very good. When I say people, those countries with whom our political relationship is very good, they are called as alien friends, whereas the alien enemies are those countries with whom our political relationship is not good. Now, can we have valid contract with alien friend nation citizens? Definitely we can have valid contract with them. But when it comes to alien enemies, it is not absolutely blocked to have any contracts. You can have contract with alien enemy also if the government of India approves. However, there is one big difference that you need to remember. If you have come to a contract with alien enemy, in the absence of the war, such person who is coming out of India can sue in Indian court, whereas if the contract is made during the war, in such case you cannot sue in Indian courts because government dissolves all such power to ensure that there is no benefit to the enemy or nothing is against public policy. That is one important aspect you need to remember. That is all you need to quote in exam when it comes to alien enemies. I'm not trying to quote any example for the purpose of an alien friend or an alien enemy, because an alien friend of today can be an alien enemy tomorrow, or an alien enemy of today can be an alien friend tomorrow because of the political relationship that we are going to have with them. I wish all the other countries in the world becomes an alien friend to India so that we can have contract with all of them and have good business transactions so that our economy can also improve. That is how we need to pursue. The second aspect is foreign sovereigns or diplomats or their representatives cannot come into contract unless and until there is an approval by the Indian government. That is one important aspect you need to remember. Only with the approval of central government you can come into contract with any foreign sovereigns or their diplomatic staff or any of their accredited representatives. Unless and until you cannot have any contract with them because they are disqualified by law when it comes to the matter of contract. The next question is, can a convict come into a contract? Now, when a person is convicted, he can either have fine or can have imprisonment, or maybe sometime both fines and imprisonment. Now, if he is paying only fine, in that case, he can come into any kind of contract. But if he is going through imprisonment, during the time of his imprisonment, he cannot come into any kind of contract. only when he is pardoned or he is out of jail because of ticket of leave. Ticket of leave is nothing but a document which is given while a person is coming out of jail on parole. If he is having such documents, he can come into contract. Otherwise, a person who is in jail or serving the jail time cannot come into any kind of contract. That is one important aspect you need to remember when it comes to convict. The next question is, can a corporation and company are qualified by law when it comes to competency of contract? Now this is little tricky. You need to remember that such company is registered under the Companies Act 1956 and they cannot come into any kind of contract unless such power is given to them as per the Memorandum of Association, that is MOA. If in MOA it is mentioned that they can come into contract, then they can definitely come into a valid contract. Unless and until it is specifying such powers to them, they cannot come into any kind of contract. And if they are coming into contract, that is considered as ultra virus, or they are using the power more than that they are having. That is not valid. So MOA is very important as far as the corporation or company coming into contract as per the Companies Act 1956. The last category of people who are disqualified by law to make any kind of valid contract is insolvent, because they don't have anything to give to others, because their property is taken by the court, their all money is taken by court. Rather, they don't have anything. That is why it is called as insolvent. They must be having debts more than whatever they are having. So their property will be used to distribute to all those people who have given debt. So they cannot give any consideration to any party, and consideration is one of the most important aspect that a valid contract should have. As insolvent cannot give any consideration to any people, they cannot come into contract. That is the way you need to remember insolvent. Unless and until they have discharged by such court saying that they are no more insolvent, they cannot come into contract. But if the court releases them from such insolvent status, then they are definitely eligible to come into a valid contract. That brings an end to the entire series of discussion that we had discussed on competent to contract. We have discussed in detail on the concept of minor, then we have discussed on soundness of mind, and finally in this video we have discussed on competent to contract when it comes to the person qualified by law or disqualified by law. Where does it take us? We are going to consent, which is one of the most beautiful, very interesting and important aspect when it comes to essentials of valid contract. For that, I am meeting you guys in my next video. Till then, you guys have a great time and all the very best for whatsoever purpose you are watching my channel and this video. And thank you so much for watching me.